Welcome to Z's and Threes,
For three for the win, yes!
your daily fast break assist on all things NBA, giving you the latest scores, stories, news, and notes. Thank you so much for joining me, Tyler Denning. We have turned the calendar to the month of December, and what a way to do it. Hope you had a great holiday weekend. Sunday was a treat. It was 1 versus 2 in both the East and the West. Did we see potentially our conference finals previews here in early December? I'll get into that. Also, 5 tight games throughout an uber competitive Western Conference. I will break the Western Conference down, give you my pick to win it all in the regular season. Plenty to talk about. 10 games of action on Sunday across the NBA. Let's get you caught up. Before we do, please, if you like the show, do like and subscribe. Help us hit 100 subscribers before the end of the year. Let's catch you up. Group chat games of the night. Yes, an evening so good we had to give you 2 because it was number 1 against number 2 in both the Eastern and Western conferences. The last time that we saw this, exactly 12 years ago to the date, December 1st of 2012, 1 versus 2, same day, both conferences. Any guesses to the teams? You know I got you. Number 1, Brooklyn. Number 2, Miami. In the West, number 1, Memphis. Number 2, San Antonio. Let's start with the East. Number 1, Cleveland. Number 2, Boston. Net rating, loves both these teams. Great offense, great defense. Boston, 2 overall in the net rating. Cleveland, number 3. 12 days ago, these two teams played a classic. Boston, 120-117 in their NBA Cup victory at home. Cleveland, coming off of back-to-back losses at the hands of the Atlanta Hawks. 1 in Cleveland, 1 in Atlanta. Postulated, could Cleveland potentially win 70 or more games? Well, not if they play the Hawks. They would go 0-82. Little juice taken out of this one as no Jaylen Brown, a non-COVID illness, and no Derek White for the Celtics. So a little shorthanded for the defending champs. Cavs had a 2-point lead at the half, but it switched up after a 35-21 Celtics third period. 29 from Jason Tatum up till that point. But an 11-0 Cavs run with under 5 in the fourth quarter cut it to a 3-point game, 93-90. Tatum makes back-to-back jumpers, keeps it at 5, but it was all about Donovan Mitchell for the Cavs down the stretch. What a fourth quarter he had. Has a step-back 3, makes it 97-95, Celtics lead. Has 2 more consecutive threes, but Celtics mixed layups in between. It's a 101-101 game, $1:40 left. Mitchell makes a pull-up sandwich in between 2 Tatum misses. That was really the difference. Tatum couldn't find it down the stretch. Evan Mobley, a baseline dunk, 105-101. The Cavs lead. It was a free throw fest from there out. Cavs end with a 43-27 fourth quarter. How about this from Mitchell in the fourth? 20 points, 5 rebounds, a 129% true shooting percentage. How do you shoot more than 100? Well, it weights in the shots that you take. 6 of 6 field goals, 4 of 4 from 3, and 4 of 4 in made free throws. The Cavs exact their revenge. They remain atop the Eastern Conference, but with the caveat as the Celtics were shorthanded. All right, that was 1 and 2 in the East. Let's go out West. Maybe a surprising 1 and 2 for a lot of folks. Number 1, OKC. No surprise there, but against number 2, the Houston Rockets. Second meeting of the season. Thunder won the first easily, 126-107. These are the 2 best defensive teams in the league per defensive rating, per net rating. They're first and fourth. So really the 4 best teams in the league were in action against one another, and this one delivered as well. A 5-point lead for the Thunder at the start of the fourth. Houston would not let them get away. Luguentz Dort fouls out with 6:04 left. That was pivotal. Hartenstein was battling foul trouble as well, as he had gone to the bench with his 5th, had to get back up when Dort fouled out. It's a 104-104 game with 4:25 left. SGA and Alperen Sengun trade buckets at just under the 3-minute mark, 110 all. At 1:45, a tie-up jump ball that Houston wins 5 seconds on the shot clock, nearly at half court. Fred VanVleet has a heave good. Cason Wallace immediately on the other side, extended elbow 3-pointer, good. Van Fleet back on the other end. It's a miss. There's a tie-up between Dylan Brooks and SGA. Now, mind you, these are two Canadian national team teammates. It leads to a full-on scrum, gets everybody fired up, barking. The refs have to go to review. Thankfully, they did not call any fouls, issue no technicals, no unsporting acts. Jump ball in the center circle, and the ball gets tapped back between Brooks and SGA by Brooks. Şengün loses his footing backing down Hartenstein, but he finds a cutting Brooks from his ground on the floor, and Brooks barely gets it off. Swish, Rockets lead 115-113 on the Dylan Brooks make. What a sequence that was with the tie-up included as well. SGA gets to his spot. Next possession, elbow jumper, misses. Brooks gets the rebound. Rockets going to kill the clock mode. The Thunder finally foul with 4.6 left. Van Fleet to the line, buries both. Rockets by 4. All right. Jalen Williams buries a 3, a curl screen immediately coming out of the timeout. Barely cost them 2 seconds. So this is a 1-point game. Rockets timeout, having to inbound the ball. They're up 1, 2.4 left. Van Fleet fouled, makes both. It was the first win for Houston when trailing after 3, and the first blown lead when leading going into the 4th for OKC. A season high for Fred Van Vliet. What a game he played. This was a phenomenal game for both the 1 and the 2 in the East and the West, and potentially an NBA Conference Finals previews on both sides. We'll get into that in just a moment. So what that does standings-wise gives Cleveland a game and a half over Boston. They've now split the head-to-head. And also in the West, those teams have split their season head-to-head thus far with a half a game advantage for the Thunder over the Rockets. We'll talk about the West a little later in house shoes. But I want to take this time to talk these 4 teams as title contenders. I want to start with most likely to least likely, but still very likely. Let's talk Celtics first. They have high-end talent. Obviously, we know the finals MVP in Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum, who is a league MVP candidate perennial. They have depth. They shoot the ball. Peyton Pritchard can't miss from 3. They have defensive prowess. Their experience. They have Kristaps Porzingis back into the fold. They are the defending champs. They are the favorites. But my biggest question with the Celtics, it's their front court depth. An injury prone who's already missed time, Kristaps Porzingis, and a 38-year-old Al Horford. I think if there's one knock on the Celtics right now, it's when you look at their front court. For the Cavs, same story really, just at a lesser degree. They have the high-end talent. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. They shoot the 3. Ty Jerome is playing most improved player candidate type years. They defend as well. But I think outside of the experience factor, which is obviously huge, the biggest question for me with the Cavs is having a bulldog wing defender. You start talking matchups, you face the Celtics down the road. This game today, maybe not as indicative without Jaylen Brown, that 1-2 punch between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Who do the Cavs have that can go out and just shut a guy down, maybe take one of those away and take them through a series victory? All right, switch it up to the West. Start with OKC, last year's champs in the regular season, but a second-round loss at the hands of eventual Western champs, the Dallas Mavs. The Thunder right now, they have an MVP candidate. He's probably tops of most people's lists in SGA. He's found even another level to help carry his team. But a bona fide running mate in Jalen Williams, a.k.a. J-Dub, a player that most fans are still getting to know. And this team defends. They are still tops in defensive rating in spite of losing the rim protector in Chet Holmgren. The good news is that they have Isaiah Hartenstein they're continuing to work into the fold. But the biggest question for the Thunder is who can be that third guy? Scoring-wise, it was Chet Holmgren that helped them get out to that hot start. They're still 15-5. I'm not taking a bunch from today's loss. But finding that third option on nights like tonight where J-Dub was 7 of 21 from the field, That's the difference between winning and losing that game. Who can be that bona fide third option until potentially they get Holmgren back? And then once they have him back, what does he look like? And we end with Houston. Most haven't even watched the Rockets play a game. Alperen Şengün is the best player in the league that no one knows as of now. That's going to change as the season continues to go on. They have veteran leadership. Today that showed a title winner in Fred VanVleet. When the Rockets went outside VanVleet and they signed Dylan Brooks, a player that brings them a ton of attitude, I think a lot of people were saying, well, what are the Rockets gearing up for? This is what they're gearing up for. They have toughness in Steven Adams, some veteran presence there. They have scoring potential in Jalen Green. We saw him with a 40-point game last week. They have three incredibly talented young players in Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason, and Amen Thompson. But the biggest question for the Houston Rockets, they have no proven playoff experience. This team won 41 games last year. They did not even make the play-in. So in terms of unknowns, they are the biggest, but they are one of the most tantalizing. What a day it was amongst the 1 and 2 teams in both conferences. Cleveland and Houston both securing huge wins. All right, let's keep it moving. Stay in the top quadrant of the Eastern Conference. Magic, Nets, Orlando. No hotter team in the league right now. Winners of their last 5. They won Friday night 123-100 at Brooklyn. That was a cup game. Since November 8th, they've gone 11-1, all without Paolo Banchero. The Nets gave him more of a fight tonight. Cam Johnson, 26-20 from Dennis Schroeder, but not enough to overcome another stellar performance from Franz Wagner. 20 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. KCP continues his hot streak. He was the big offseason signing. 16 points for KCP. The Magic, 15-7, firmly third place in the East, chasing Boston and Cleveland, but definitely, in my opinion, in their class. They are tied with the Bucks for the league's longest win streak at 6. Pelicans, Knicks. Well, the Pelicans, 10 points in the first quarter, 18 points in the second quarter. It was 93-56 Knicks at the end of the third. They didn't even score over 30 in a single quarter. It's not going to get it done in this year's NBA. It's a big reason why they have now lost 8 straight. Miles Bridges had 31 for the Knicks, 14 and 19 from Karl Anthony Towns. The Knicks, 4th in the East, trail Orlando by 1 in the loss column, but 3 in the win column. But the NBA script is on point because it is Magic Knicks. Tuesday night in the Garden, cup game to decide East Group A. Give you a full cup date in tomorrow's show because we have plenty more games to get to, and we will use tomorrow to preview what can happen Tuesday. The West race, we'll get into that later in house shoes, but the rest of the trailing pack behind Oklahoma City and Houston were all in action minus Golden State. Start with Pacers, Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, probably the surprise of the West, maybe the surprise of the NBA. Not in the sense that it's completely unexpected. We knew it was a talented team across the board, but Ja Morant's missed 10 games, entered the day 3rd in the West with the Grizzlies, and they would leave as such. Indy outscored Memphis 45-28 in the first. They built a 19-point lead. Wild lead swing alert. The Pacers only scored 46 combined points in quarters 2 and 3. They give up 74. The Grizzlies get their 14th win to 7 losses, 7 scores. That's how it works in Memphis. They got a group thing going there. Jaren Jackson Jr. led the way with 25. Ja with 19 in his second game back from his injury absence. They tied the league's longest win streak at 6, joining Boston and Orlando, who we talked about earlier. For the Pacers, of note, the struggle of Tyrese Halliburton. He had one of those rough games, 36 minutes, just 8 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. He was 3 of 10 from the field, including 2 of 9 from 3 for the Pacers that are now 9-12. 4 more in the Western Conference that were all one-possession games down the stretch. Start in Salt Lake City with the Lakers and the Jazz. Of note, before we get started, the Jazz, they probably have the most unenergetic broadcast duo in the league. Watched a couple of Jazz games. It was a 2-point game against the Lakers late. They sounded like they were calling a golf tournament. If Eric Collins, You guys are probably familiar with him as the Charlotte Hornets announcer. If he's on one end of the spectrum, Craig Bolerjack is on the opposite when it comes to play-by-play energy. 4-point Laker lead, 75 seconds left. Keontae George draws a Rui Hachimura foul, finishes as well, part of a 10-2 Jazz run. 103-102 Lakers. LeBron hits a lane runner, pushes the lead to 3. 41 seconds left. Walker Kessler has an offensive rebound putback that trims the Lakers' lead to just 1. LeBron shoots a 3 on the other end. It's missed. Kessler gets the rebound. Colin Sexton runs out, goes down, kisses it off the glass, goes in, go ahead bucket, but it's waved off as Jazz head coach Will Hardy had called a timeout. 2.1 seconds left, so the Jazz still trail by 1. Side out of bounds. The Lakers defense congests the possession. Sexton doesn't even get a shot up. The Lakers hold on 105-104. They get their 12th win, 27 points, 14 assists from LeBron James. Another team in LA. This game was in Inglewood. The Nuggets in town to take on the Clippers. The Clippers coming off a 4-game road trip that they split 2-2. The good news for the Clippers, they have won 7 in a row at their new arena, the Intuit Dome. Maybe the wall is making the difference. 15 points in the first quarter for Nikola Jokic. He finished with 28, 14, and 11. The Clippers were up 9 after 1. Slow starts for the Nuggets continue to hamper them, but tied 59-59 at half. It was tight down the stretch, but the story was the Nuggets missed free throws. They go 10 of 19 from the stripe. In the game, they shoot 58% from the field, but 52% from the free throw line. And the Clippers made threes. 18 of their 39 attempts, they were plus 24 their advantage. It's a stat that I love to look at. What's the difference point-wise? 24 more points the Clippers produced from behind the arc. Norman Powell had been out for 5 games. He kills Denver once again. Had 37 in their first meeting. That was a close Clippers win. Had 28 tonight. 39, 9, and 11 for James Harden. I'm going to throw this out there. I low-key think Harden deserves some MVP consideration. He's averaging 21, 7, and 8, but the Clippers are at 13 and 9. If you're talking about a player that is valuable to their team, James Harden. What could they be if they potentially, who knows when, get Kawhi Leonard back? The Nuggets, 5-5 over their last 10, fall to 10 and 8 in the West. Mavs, Blazers, Luka back on the floor after sitting the last 5. A career-high 23 points from Anthony Simons in the third quarter had this a tight ball game. How about made threes between these two teams? In the third, 28 made threes between the two teams combined. They both shoot over 50% from deep in the quarter. A 1-point Dallas advantage with 49.5 left. Free throws from Spencer Dinwiddie and Quentin Grimes had a season-high 27, and a Daniel Gafford dunk with a couple of defensive plays mixed in as Dallas eked it out 137-131 against a scrappy now Blazers team, especially in Portland. Luka, 36, 7, and 13 in his return. Spurs Kings. De'Aaron Fox had a made 3 that made it a 2-point game. Spurs lead with 42 seconds left. But on the other side, Wembanyama, how about this? He's working in the post with De'Aaron Fox guarding him. And he kicks it out to Chris Paul, top of the key, nails the 3. Guess the pass was the right move. Spurs go back up 5. Malik Monk comes back down, makes a 3 with 11.8 left. 2-point Spurs lead. Keldon Johnson is fouled, makes his first, misses the second, but he gets the rebound off a Wemby tip. Paul goes to the line to ice it. Third career triple-double for Wembanyama. Spurs move to 2 games above 500 at 11 and 9. The Kings drop below 3 games. They are 9 and 12 below the even mark. So those were all the tight games. 5 games across the Western Conference tonight were decided by a combined 16 points. Final game of the evening. There was one more between 2 teams in the East. Heat Raptors. Said it multiple times. The Raptors a better team than their record. 5 wins coming into tonight. Welcoming the Heat to north of the border. The teams getting together for their second consecutive game. Friday night, it was a cup game. A 121-111 Miami victory. Tonight, the Raptors return the favor on their home floor. R.J. Barrett is hitting probably the best stride of his career. Hometown kid, 20 in the first half, 37 for the game to go along with 7 rebounds, 5 assists. He's had 30 or more in the last 3 Raptors home games. He has 5 30-plus point scoring games this season. 23 from Scotty Barnes. Raptors get their 6th win. Heat an even 9-9, which is good enough for 6th in the East. All right, that catches you up on Sunday. There were some stories from the weekend, just a couple of quick hitters. Giannis, 42, 12, and 11. The Bucks notched their 6th consecutive win Saturday night over the Wizards, who have now lost 14 in a row. The Hawks clinched East Group C, handing the Cavs back-to-back losses. More on the cup here in a moment. And the Timberwolves snapped their 4-game losing streak with a down-to-the-wire win in a cup meeting against the Clippers. Tomorrow I'll give you a full cup date, but Tuesday there will be 11 games in our final NBA Cup night. There will be 2 group deciders in the East. Group A between Orlando and the Knicks in New York, and Group B between Milwaukee and the I told you so they could win this group, Detroit Pistons. Group B in the West is still in the balance. The Spurs control their own fate. They will be at Phoenix. As I told you, come back for tomorrow's show. We'll give you a full cup date. We will also talk teams to 20. Nearly everyone is at that threshold. We will break it down then, what we've seen through 20 games. Heavy pour, leading scorer of the night, Fred VanVleet, had 38. Huge in the Rockets' win against the Thunder, including that half-court heave. I'll post the highlight on my social. Go check it out. Dunk of the night, Ivica Zubac on Peyton Watson. Oof, it was nice. And Watson is a good shot blocker. Denver's won 2 games off of Peyton Watson's blocked shots, but he lost on this one. Came right back with a nice dunk himself later, but Ivica Zubac, dunk of the night. Performance of the night, well, I got to give co-performances. Donovan Mitchell had that amazing fourth quarter with 20 points in his 35 for the Cavs win over the Celtics, and VanVleet with his 38 in Houston's statement win against the Thunder. What a Sunday it was. 1 versus 2, first time in 12 years, and it led to 2 phenomenal potential conference preview matchups. Injuries and news from across the weekend. Well, unfortunately, you can add another name to the injury list. And LaMelo Ball, who had been playing at an all-NBA type level, will be on the sideline for at least 2 weeks with a left calf strain. What is going on? Another calf strain. Why is this happening? If you know out there, tell me why. Why are all these players getting calf strains? He hurt his calf Wednesday in the game against the Heat, sat out Friday in their loss against the Knicks. News-wise, reporting on Brandon Ingram. The Pelicans have been trying to move Ingram in light of their 4-17 start. They're currently a luxury tax team. It's a $36 million contract. It's a little difficult to shop. Multitude of reasons. One, teams unable to work a deal due to second apron penalties and the money that they can send out and bring back. And also Ingram's desire for a new deal that's in the reported $200 million range. The Pelicans and the Jazz were reportedly close to a deal, but it was shut down by Ingram's unwillingness to re-up with the Jazz. Guess he doesn't want to be in Salt Lake City. Accordingly, Ingram has signed with Rich Paul and Clutch to help him navigate the upcoming free agent market that is not laden with buyers. I'm not sure if that deal he wants is out there. Currently averaging 22, 5, and 5. It's a lot for $200 million, but injured for the Pelicans, currently on the bench. House shoes, kick check before we get started tonight. A little bit of Michigan State dunks on feet. Let's talk the West race, because right now, 1st through 10th, all of the playoff or play-in qualifiers are separated by 4 games. Minnesota, who was the preseason second best Vegas odds to win the West, currently sitting 11th in the conference at 9-10. They're just 5.5 games out in the loss column. The difference between 1st and 10th in the East, it's 9.5 games for frame of reference. I think this West season is setting up to be an all-time classic dogfight. Not in the sense of maybe the 2012-13 season where there were 5 56 or more win teams. Vegas had set the preseason over-under win total for OKC at 56.5. But this, folks, is the NBA, Adam Silver, the Players Union, the owners, everything that has been collectively bargained to work for parity. This is it. It is working. No one is running away with this West. 5 games tonight, as mentioned, amongst West contenders. 16 points total decided those 5 games. An average margin of victory at 3.2 points. So what I'm keeping my eye on for you, and you should as well, records in close games. Yes, the best teams don't play a lot of close games, but I don't think that's going to be the case in this year's West. There's going to be a lot of close games. The Suns, 8-2 currently in close games. A lot of that was with Kevin Durant. The Spurs, 5-3 in their close games. The Rockets, 8-5. They've played a lot of close games, but they've won the majority of them. The Thunder, 4-3. The Lakers, 5-4. The Nuggets, 6-5. The teams that have struggled in close games, Memphis, 2-5. They're currently 3rd in the West. What if they would have won just 2 of those? Where they would be sitting? The Kings, 5-8. The Warriors, 5-6. And the Wolves have played 19 games. 13 of those have been close. Their record is 6-7. So look at close games. Also, health. Injuries have been a defining factor of the season. Mentioned that in my NBA Thanksgiving Season 3 style. The 4 main storylines, injuries has been one of them. The Thunder, no Chet Holmgren for an extended period of time. Not sure when he'll be back. The Grizzlies, Ja's already sat 10 games. For the Warriors, Curry's missed 4. The Mavs have sat Luka for 6. The Suns, the KD injury derailed their hot start. Bradley Beal has been in and out of the lineup. So keep an eye on injuries. Health is always so important, even more so this year. Because if you are a fan of a team in the West, gear up. It is going to be a fight night in, night out. And as promised you, I said at the top of the show I would give you my pick. And I'm going on record here, December 1st of 2024, that the regular season winners of the West will be the Houston Rockets. That's who I'm picking to win the regular season. Who will represent the West in the NBA Finals? Well, your guess is as good as mine. What a way to end the holiday weekend. Hope you had a great one with you and yours. The NBA gave us a great one, 1-2 in both conferences for the first time in 12 years on the same day today. And I gave you my prediction as to who I think will win a tight Western Conference. Plenty to talk about this week. Tomorrow, I'll give you a full Cup date. We will preview the 11 Cup games coming Tuesday night and our last night of Cup action before we set the elimination bracket. Thank you so much for rocking with me. As always, Tyler Denning, Season 3's You Sleep by Peep. If you like the show, please do like and subscribe. Help us get to the century mark before the end of the year. We will see you back here tomorrow.